Wonderful good day, ladies and gentlemen. It's news time at Commodity TV, and today we have Altona Mining. They have released their company results for the September quarter, and we want to talk now with Dr. Alistair Cowden, the Managing Director of Altona Mining, to give us the details about the key highlights of this. And Dr. Alistair Cowden is not here with us in the studio in Munich. We have now for the first time a direct connection, direct line down to Perth, to Australia, in the studio there, where Dr. Alistair Cowden sits. Alistair, wonderful good day also here out from Munich, from Germany, down to Perth, to Australia, and thanks for taking the time.
It's a pleasure to be with you today, Jochen.
My first question is, of course, what are the key highlights from the September quarterly results?
This was a fantastic quarter. We found our mojo again after a more difficult June quarter. We had a record production at the mine and mill. We produced over 3,000 tons of copper equivalent, which is a fantastic result. And as a consequence, we made a lot of money. And our cash and receivables now stand at $35 million. In addition to that, we reported our maiden profit as a miner. So we made a profit of $12.6 million, our very first profit. It's a big day for a company like us. In addition to that, we reported a lift in our reserves and resources. We've now replaced all our depletion from mining since we started in early 2012, and we have actually increased resources, a pattern that we see time and time again. And not only that, we completed a joint venture with China Yunnan Copper, where China Yunnan are earning an interest in our southern tenements at Roseby, allowing the company to focus on its more northerly tenements where Little Eva and all the resources and reserves are. So all in all, a fantastic quarter, and one which we think we are very proud of.
Well, Alistair, those numbers, they sound really fantastic, and congratulations on those results you have so far provided here. My second question is, how does the strong September quarterly performance affect the guidance for the fiscal year 2014?
Well, generally we don't offer guidance on profit given the volatility on metal prices, and it's a relatively new operation, but we do offer guidance on production volumes and costs. And we have lowered the cost guidance by about 10-20 cents a pound to 160 to 175 cents per pound cash cost. And we have also increased the volumes that we expect to produce to well over 8,000 tons of copper per annum. So we think that this great start to the year will see a really good performance for the financial year, and one that beats what we expected just a few months ago.
Okay, but has the company's hedging policy affected financial performance in the September quarter?
What hedging really does is remove volatility and de-risk. Generally, we, as a combination of our long-term hedging, which was required of us by our banking facility, and short-term hedging, which you do to protect the price exposure period between delivering concentrate and settling the final price. The combination of those has meant that generally we slightly outperform market price for the quarter. But so it doesn't really impact hugely, but what it does is remove any potential negative impact which can on the downside. So we use a judicious mix of hedging that still allows us to get exposed to price upside. As you can see, we never do less than the market price, and remove a lot of the downside risk that could be associated with a particular timing of deliveries.
Very interesting. But are the positive drill results likely to affect future earnings and mine life at Outokumpu in Finland?
They are indeed. If I might just remind viewers of the two types of drilling that we're doing. The first is detailed drilling of the mine as we go down in advance of placing mine development and designing stopes. What that has generally returned has been a more continuity of high-grade massive sulfides. So we see an improvement in tons, and generally in grade, not necessarily in tons. And that's what we've seen to date, and we've seen that in the reserve and resource upgrades. So that's been very positive. And we have no reason to believe that it will be any other way on as we continue down the mine. The other drilling we're doing is at the bottom of the mine, where we're looking for extensions of the deposit. We started that this quarter, What we've said in the quarterly report is that we've seen visual intercepts, the ore body is there. However, it's very early days and we're still drilling, and we'll be updating the market on the progress of that drilling when it comes to hand. But suffice to say, the ore body is still there. It's going to continue at depth. It's just a question of how it's configured and what it looks like. So the short answer to all that is yes, we expect that the positive drilling results will improve mine life, grade, and consequently financial performance at the mine.
Thank you. So finally, what should the market expect from the Roseby project over the next 12 months, Alistair?
Okay, well, if we might take a step back and just think about where we've come from with Roseby. In May 2012, we delivered a positive definitive feasibility study for the project. That was essentially done at the top of the market in Australia when costs were at an all-time high. What we've done this quarter is commissioned JR Engineering to conduct a review of costs for the feasibility study, and they will be reporting back on that probably towards the end of November or early December, and we'll be able to update the market then on any benefit that we may be seeing from the changed cost environment in Australia. The other thing that we've done is the joint venture with China Yunnan, which allows the company to focus more on the deposits, the resources, reserves and the mining, and less on grassroots exploration. So greater focus on where the money is coming from. We've also gone to the resources and geological models. The project has been around for some 20 years, lots of different people involved, and we're synthesizing and unitizing the way in which we've done that to have a better constrained geological model, which will probably have a positive outcome on the project. But I guess what everyone's really interested in is have we done a deal, or are we going to do a deal on Roseby? Our strategy is very simple. We are looking for a deal on Roseby. If this company tries to build Roseby on its own, the debt, the hedging and the equity required would destroy shareholder wealth in our view. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is to find a transaction that creates shareholder wealth, not destroys it. So we're looking for several things. We're looking to sell the project or to partner the project. And partnering might mean a joint venture. It could mean an Asian entity, Chinese, Korean, whatever. It might mean a private equity house or whatever. We're actively engaged with a number of parties and we're actively marketing the project. It's extremely difficult and inadvisable to talk about anything that's in progress. And all I can offer to shareholders is that when we have news that is disclosable, we will do that. But the other thing I might just comment on is the general market that we find ourselves in. The mining industry has been through a very rugged time in this last 3 or 4 months, and that's reflected in share prices, and our share price is no different. It was also reflected in the level of interest shown in the Roseby project. It fell away. However, in this last month, 6 weeks, we're seeing renewed interest in Roseby from all sorts of different kinds of people, and I'm quite confident that we're going to see the market turn around and a deal will be done on Roseby. It's still a lot of metal in the ground and it's not going anywhere, and it doesn't cost as much for it to sit there. So I think hopefully in the next 12 months we will see some kind of value come through to shareholders on Roseby, and essentially it sits in our share price as a free option to shareholders, and I think a very good one.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. Very good results, very good numbers of Altona Mining. The company is full on track. The management around Dr. Alistair Cowden is still delivering positive results, positive cash flow and profits for the shareholders. That's what we like to hear. That's what we love to report to you. So that was News Show of Commodity TV out of Munich. Thanks and bye-bye.